I'm here from the Zimbabwe Industrial Hemp Trust, and most of you are not familiar. This is an infant organization that is currently lobbying for the legal inclusion of a non-narcotic fiber crop that comes from the cannabis family. And I'm sure most of you know marijuana, mbanje, chamba, instagu. I'm sure we're all familiar with that. But we are taking you onto a whole nother trajectory that is not smoking the narcotic. So I'm just going to explain the difference between what we do and what you know. So cannabis is a family, like a surname, let's say, a father who's got 2 children. This is the simplest knowledge I can give you. 2 children, Tinotenda and Tatenda, they are both sons. But Tinotenda is not Tatenda, and Tatenda is not Tinotenda. So we have what we say industrial hemp. And some of you know Indian hemp. That is marijuana. That is chamba. That's the stuff you smoke. But industrial hemp, scientific name is cannabis sativa, which is not a narcotic. You cannot smoke that because it does not contain the psychoactive compound delta-9 THC. So I know most of you would have been following the news of late, the global trends on medicinal cannabis. We appreciate the value of the medicinal properties of the other one, but that is not what we do. And I'm going to get straight into what and why we are pushing for the legal inclusion of industrial hemp. What you're seeing here are products that I have imported because Zimbabwe is not producing anything. And right here is paper. And I think you all know that right now we have Kadoma paper mills producing only the capacity of 30%. We are importing a lot of bond paper. I think our offices in the government, schools, we all know that we import a lot of bond paper. We are actually trying to work on a case study on how much bond paper Zimbabwe is importing. But what I know is last year we used $4 million just to import newsprint paper, of which this is something we need to use every day. At the end of the day, is it sustainable wherever you're getting that pulp from? And if I can tell you, 1 acre of hemp makes the same amount of paper as 4 acres of trees. Now, trees take years to grow back, but industrial hemp takes 3 months for you to harvest. Now, think about that. What I also have here is a rope made from banje. I know some of you are still thinking about banje. Leave that one. We've already left it. Just leave that one, okay? Now you can wear it instead of smoking. So this is a rope. As you can see, it's for heavy duty, construction, mining industry, but this is from Europe. And a good friend of mine helped us to do a small pilot project where we imported some fiber yarn from China, and we made our own rope in Zimbabwe. This is value added in Zimbabwe. It's very strong. It's actually better quality than the European one because the fiber dust is much less. And the gentleman is somewhere in here who helped us to make this rope. Please give him a round of applause. Now, whilst we are at it, there's a food industry that also comes with this fiber crop. And this you're seeing here is made in Germany, packaged in South Africa, sold in Zimbabwe at $14 US for 200 grams. Now, before I found out about this, I had bought 500 grams from China for $3. Until my mother told me, do you know that hemp is being sold in Zimbabwe? And this is something that I had told the Honorable Minister before that, oh, we are a target market of the global players, and they are going to start selling something that we might as well grow ourselves. We have so much underutilized land in Zimbabwe, right? The government is even considering redistribution of land again because of the underutilized land. Again, our economy is agro-based. I do not know if anyone is really thinking about a Plan B cash crop because Zimbabwe depends substantially on tobacco returns or GDP, for foreign currency. And if there is going to be a world tobacco ban, where are we going to be? Is anybody thinking about a Plan B cash crop? And here is something that we are very ignorant about, and some people would have been like, mbanje, but it might be something we need to consider because we are an agro-based economy. Now we are talking about industrialization, and we know that agriculture supports industry. As you can see down there, I like that Lafarge is here, And I like that they've just mentioned they are now moving from just producing a product, but also looking into, and that is diversification that we are talking about. As you can see down here, I have 2 bricks made from this crop. I know it sounds bizarre, but I was going to demonstrate how it actually is, we move from just a crop to a brick. The one down there is from Europe, okay? That is water, lime, and the woody part, the inner core of the stalk. The carbon footprint is really, really low. We are talking about environmental issues now. This brick you're seeing here, the one on the top is from Malawi, okay? This brick is soundproof, fire resistant, mold resistant. It has thermal inertia, so in winter, it warms the house. In summer, it cools down the house, and there's air circulation, so you might not even need windows. So think about that. Just think about it for a moment. This is the future. Eco-friendly homes. Zimbabwe is, maybe we would say Zimbabwe is far from that, but we have companies like Lafarge who are now looking at sustainable solutions. We know about sand poaching, about the traditional brick we are using in Zimbabwe. There is serious sand poaching that is happening. That is an environmental issue. For you to make that brick, you have to cut down trees to burn it and dry it. That is, again, an issue. So this could be something we need to consider, because Zimbabwe does not live in isolation. The globe is moving in that direction of sustainability and eco-friendly homes, and you're not thinking about that. So I'll leave that for you to think. I like that he mentioned something about textiles or something like that. And I have 3 different, okay, I can show you. 3 different pieces of clothing made from hemp. I bought these in China again. So this is the oil, edible, high protein. For those who don't eat fish, you get your omega-33 acids, omega-6 from this. And it's very good for women who are, at the menopause stage, because it helps you to stabilize hormones. Now, with all this goodness and with all this, so why don't we have it in Zimbabwe? This is why. And by the way, this is where you get your highest protein. You can eat eggs, milk, all kinds of meat. You can never beat the protein 100-gram serving of this. Actually, the nutritional value is at the back of this to prove what I'm saying, is 31.5 grams of protein per 100-gram serving. You're not going to get that from the meat you eat, from the milk you drink, from the eggs. And we have a high protein deficiency in Africa. It's a real issue. And it's part of our Zim asset cluster, food nutrition and what. Yeah? The clusters. And of course, value addition and beneficiation. You do not throw away anything from the seed alone. I think we were discussing this issue earlier on about the importation of soybean seed cake, the oil, the cake. It's about 3 million, average 3 million per month we are importing that. But you could get that from hemp. The cake, you directly feed it for livestock feed, and you can further process it into a high protein flour for human consumption. And you can also make beer. The oil that comes from it, edible, the crude oil, I'm sorry, just one more. Yeah, the crude oil, then you can use it for technical lubricants and medicinal, if you want to make pharmaceuticals and cosmetics. So this is something that we are pushing, and we are hoping we'll get support from stakeholders, because most of you are in businesses that could be affected by the introduction of this. But we are saying, take part, and so that you can diversify and embrace the innovation which comes from young people. And we are looking forward to your support as an organization. Thank you.
Presentation on industrial hemp, very interesting. I read in the South African Sunday Times that's last Sunday that there's a lady who used cannabis oil to cure cancer. It was a very interesting article, and it was saying that she used about $10,000 to cure her breast cancer, and it is completely healed. I just wanted to ask the lady who made the presentation whether we can get this kind of oil from industrial hemp, or it's not possible. Thank you.
Just clarify something. This industrial hemp has high concentration of what we call CBD. That is a non-psychoactive compound. This marijuana is in high concentration of the THC, which is the psychoactive compound. So for some cancers, it's important to mix for the effect, to be satisfactory. But for some cancers like stage 1, stage 2, and other diseases, you just need CBD. So I hope that answers your question, that yes, we can get medicinal properties from industrial hemp. Thank you.
Dr. Marovese, to find out, do you have the seedlings for Indian hemp so that we can look at farming the hemp? The value chain starts with primary production. And well done for being a torchbearer for millennials. Congratulations on that.
What challenges have we been facing? Yeah, that's a good question. The truth is, firstly, it's the regulatory issue. That's the key. Our law is inhibitive. It's very prohibitive, even for research, and it's very ambiguous. Our law, to make it simple, just says you can have leather products, but you can't keep cows. If you're seen with cows, you'll be arrested, which doesn't make sense. It's very ambiguous and self-contradictory, and it doesn't tell apart the differences of the two subspecies, which is what we are asking government, that no, it has to tell apart. Those who want to do that, they'll have their own laws. Those who want to do this, they'll have their own laws governing whatever it is. So that's the biggest challenge, is the law itself has to be looked at. Although it kind of gave like an exoneration for industrial hemp, but it doesn't mention that it is another subspecies. So it says you can have, this is why this is here and I'm not being arrested. I can import this and I won't get arrested, although it's made from something illegal. So those are the challenges. Also, it's a lack of knowledge, and the political will is another issue where we have received great support. I would really want a round of applause for Minister Bima, because he's worked flat out, and you can see I'm very feisty. I would knock at his door every single week, but he's been very accommodative, and he's one of the government officials who really stood up to support us. So please give him a round of applause. Yes, the other issue is, of course, funding, and it's quite a lot. I think maybe I'll give him afterwards. Just to go back to Mr. Moyo's question, yes, I do have the seedlings. Just like that.
All right, thank you. To come and receive our little token of our appreciation, and thank you once again for courtesy of Net1 and ProChem.